Hi, Kathy here from Kathyskutekreations. Today we are going to stuff and sew the purple mermaid, Purrmaid, excuse me, not mermaid, and the pink one that I did. And we're going to put them together a little bit different, but we're going to stuff them. Let me show you what I'm using for my stuffing. So here's what I got. This is something new because I have not used this, and I've used this brand because this is polyfill, but Ultra Plush I've never used. And it was on sale, so I got a whole bunch of them. They give you a little pattern on the back, so they gave me a hedgehog right there. There's the size of it. You can make it out. He's pretty good. He's the size of this pillow here. But then down here at the bottom, it lets you know right here in this little purple box. It says you can make at least one 15-inch stuffed toy with this. You can make 4 6-inch toys, 1 16-inch pillow, that's good to know, and at least 6 square feet snow or cloudscapes. So it's got a seam at the bottom, so that's where I'm going to open it. And hopefully it'll do both these. I don't know if it will or not. Okay, that's not going to open easy, so I'm just grabbing it. And I usually just use tape. You can use a clip to cover this back up. And it's super duper soft. And it's just packed in there like this. That's all it is. It's not rolled up or anything. So, and when I do my pink one, now let me show you. I only left, if I can find my opening to the darn thing here. Okay, here's my opening. I've only left this amount of opening. So it's about that much. It shouldn't be that hard to stuff it. It's super duper soft. Let's start and then I'll give you an idea. Now what I'm going to do is first I'm going to go ahead and stuff it a little bit, and let's pretend that we got it stuffed right here. Okay, so let's say that this was the whole body. Well, see how high that is? Let's get you an idea how high it is. Let me put the camera down here. Hold on one second. Okay, see how high that is off the table? Let's put this other one on there to give you an idea. See how high that is, fluffy wise? Okay, so I don't want mine stuffed that much. So I'm going to pack it in, flatten it out. This is before I sew it now. And then shove it back in, because this moves quite a bit. You can actually grab this and move it around on the inside. Even after this is shut, you can move this around, okay? Just to give you an idea here. Like that, see? I've already moved it down to here. You can move it. So what I'm going to do, you got 2 choices. If you can move your polyfill around, get it away far enough from this opening, you could actually put this up underneath your sewing machine. Let me show you here. So now I'm going to do it on the opposite side, so just to show you. But if it's stuffed at least this much, you could get your sewing machine up there and do your 1/4 inch. Now if it's not, and it's right up on top of it like this, well then no, you can't do that. I mean, you'll squish some of this in. If you don't mind that, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'll show you, I'll just do a couple of stitches for you to show you how I was taught how to do a hand stitch. And it was actually when we were quilting. So when I first started learning how to do piecing and everything was totally by hand. Nothing was done by the machine back then. So I'll show you how to lock it in place, because we did not use any kind of knots. And then how to go ahead and finish it off. But finish it off is just like the same way we did when we started on the end. Okay? So let me go ahead and get both of these stuffed for starters, and then I'll be right back. The opening in mine is actually big enough for my hand to get into, so that I can actually stuff up in its little head here. Okay? I forgot to tell you that that's big enough for my hand. Now if your hand is smaller, you can make your opening smaller. If your hand is larger, you got to make your opening a little bit bigger so that you can get your hand in. Otherwise, you're going to take it and you'll have to squeeze it, come up to the top like this. You'll have to do this, put some in, and then as you put it in, then just slowly come out with your Purrmaid. That was it. I went ahead and I got this one stuffed, and I wanted to let you know that you might want to do the tail first And I used my little stick here. You can use a chopstick, anything that's got a blunt type point on it. Now the purple one won't be as bad because remember now he's got the sides on him. So you can get your hand in here. Now I can get my little finger in to stuff that tail, but you want to do the tail first because if you've got everything else stuffed, it's going to be hard to get that down in there. But all I'm doing here is I put some stuffing in it and then I'm shoving it up inside here. And see, I can even do it with my thumb. And you're just cramming, I shouldn't say cramming, you're putting your polyfill in to whatever thickness, or firmness I should say, not thickness, firmness that you want for the little tail. And it was a little difficult to start out with. I mean, like I said, I got my little finger up in there, but it was easier to use that tool. And then just stuff that first. Then you're going to want to stuff this so that it doesn't totally flip like that because there's no stuffing in there. All right, so let me finish this purple one. Okay, so I used about half the bag. And I switch it down because it was pretty packed. So about half, that's not bad for both of them. All right, I'll set that aside. And then the way that I determined how much to put in it was I went ahead and I laid it down. And I put my head on it. I put this on a flat surface, put my head on it, and saw how much it squashed. Because you don't want it to end up touching the table. You want a little bit of fluffiness in it. Very first thing I did for the pink one is I went ahead and I pinned it. Now let me show you how I sew it. Alrighty, I'm going to try and show you this. Now here's my needle and my thread. Here's the end of my thread. Oops, I picked up a piece of polyfill there. So they're together like that. You take your opening. It doesn't make any difference whether you want to do it on the top, the front, or the back. I mean, not the top. So first you take it, and I'm coming up from the end. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try to stand right here. There we go. Alright, so I'm taking out my pen for starters. And just use whatever pen you're comfortable with. So bring it all the way up. And let me see. Okay, so here it is at the end right here. Okay, so you don't have to come and bring it to the very tip. You don't have to bring it to the end of this. Don't bring it to the end of that because you'll lose that when you pull up. All right, so I'm leaving this much hanging right there off the back. And then what I'm doing, whoops, got to straddle my camera here with my little Purrmaid, okay. And then I go down in here and bring it up in the same spot. And I'm tugging a little bit so it's not pulling through. There's my piece of thread right here. It pulled itself up a little bit, but you can see it right there. See it right there? Okay. And then I go back down again, same exact spot. You can see where you've made your... Well, I'll try to go back in the same spot. And then back up again. So that's 2 now I've made. And then one more time, 3. And that has become the lock. All right, it's not going anywhere. You can snip this off at the back and then just go straight in and bring it back up, just like you're stitching. And you can make them as far away or as close as you want. I'm not making it very far. My battery just practically ran out on me, so I've got to stop and plug in my phone. Hold on. And then we'll pull out this next pin, and we're just going to keep moving. And if you want to go back a stitch, just to lock it right there, go ahead, because that's what I used to do. And you know, with all this fluffy, this material right here, it's going to be hard for you to even see where you've done all your stitches. So you're just taking them And just make sure that you got the back. See, I'm holding the back and the front, so I'm getting both of them. And then I'll just do another back stitch like that. See, now if this was regular fabric, you could see where you did your back stitches. But in this case, this isn't going to have to be perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up on the other side of that silver right there. This, see if I can get it. There we go. On this right there, since it's so thick. And then I'm going to go over it because you're not going to see it anyway. Not with this, you're not going to. That's where they did the embroidery. That's a satin stitch. There you go. And then I'll go ahead and I'll move this needle here. Oops. And I only tried to get enough thread that I knew would work. In other words, I didn't want to get anything too long because, you know, that stuff gets all twisted on you. And as long as you've got it pinned, you're not going to need to worry that your back and your front aren't together. You see, all of mine are together. And instead of using white, which I'm going to show you here, you could use pink or whatever color your little Purrmaid is, and it would blend right in. I just went ahead and used white. This way we can see the back, a little bit of the back. Well, you can't hardly even see the back, can you? I thought you were going to be able to see it. Okay, well, even the white is blending in on this little pink one. But it's because it's so fluffy. And then by me stopping, and then I can go like this. But by me stopping and going back every now and then, for example, right here, I'll go do a back stitch. Then it won't gather, which is what probably some of you were thinking, that it might gather up on itself because it's just a straight stitch that you're doing. But that's not the case. This won't do that. And then when I get done, all I got to do is just fluff up my pillow a little bit. Just to pull the, whoops, the poly fill to the edge here. Let's take that. I'm coming up to the end. Let's see. Here's the end of my sewing right here. And I'll show you the needle that I used on this project here. I was afraid I couldn't thread the eye of it. But then I brought my little tool out. You know, your little needle threader. Let's see, what did I do with it? Well, I don't have it on me right offhand, but I'll show it to you here in a sec. Okay, so here's where I'm going to lock it into place, right here. And I'll do it again 3 times. So here's 1, 2. You gotta watch it so you don't attach yourself to it. And 3. And then I'm gonna go backwards 1. And then I'm going to cut it. Let's turn it this way so you can see it. And I'm just going to snip it right here. And that's it. And these are the needles that I used. These right here, I had bought them quite a while back. And they're assorted size. They come in this box, and then in the box is this tube here. Let's see if it'll focus in on that. And then the needles are in there. And that's what I used this time around. I have a whole bunch of different needles. I used to do a lot of hand sewing. And this is what you get. Let's see if I can get it out here in my hand. get a variety. See? Okay. And that's it. Let's take a look at our little guy here. There he is, all done. And he's got a little bit of a limp tail, so I need to work my little bit of batting in there for him. But there you go, all finished. Now I'm going to do the purple one. This time I'm going to go ahead and put a little knot in it. If I can. Yeah. There we go. So it's down here at the end, right there. And I'm going to need my pin cushion. I'm going to need my bobbin. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here where it's already been stitched. And I'm going to come up through the part I'm going to start at. This way my knot will go in there, and I just heard it click. So don't need to worry about this because we can clip this off. Now normally you would take your fabric and you would roll it shut. But in this case, I can't really roll it. Well, I guess I could roll it shut. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, whoops, and my knot just came out. I heard it. So it pulled through again. So normally this would be rolled like this. This side would be rolled. And this might be a little bit different here. And as you can tell, see the stitching there? And then it hides it when you pull it a little bit. Let's see if I can do it again. Trying to hold on to it. Let me put a light on over here. See if I can get a little bit more light. Oh. Okay. So I'm grabbing this here. And then I've got this side here folded a little bit. But you guys can do it any way you want. It doesn't have to be done this way. Because I'm trying to go underneath my fold. And then each time I do it, I have to pull it to get it tight. But that's the way it will be when I'm done. So I'll come back when I get done stitching it. But that's to get you started. Okay, here it is. I'm at the tail end. I just sewed all of this. And then what I do is go ahead, come to the tail end, go a little bit beyond it. And now I will create a knot if I can. Let me get my thimble off there. And it's just your regular knot. Start over here. So I do 1, 2, 3 loops, and I make a knot in it. As you can see right there, see the knot? And then I go down in it and pull it through, and it does a little tug there, which you'll be able to feel it and hear it both. And then I just take the scissors and that's it. It's locked itself into place. Okay, and that's it. It's got a little bitty what you call it, but that's fine. And there you go. That's it. So let me show you both of them now. You have them both. The pink one is just a little bit smaller than the purple one, but that's okay. I hope you liked this tutorial. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And I hope you guys took the initiative to go ahead and do your little Purrmaid, or set it back for somebody that hasn't been born yet. Now, had my 2 little guys were girls out there at the office, I would have went ahead and given them these, but I don't think the little boys want pink and purple. So I'll save these for somebody else. Take care, everybody. Till next time. Bye-bye.